Hello, everyone, and welcome to Yes Go, a show designed to help entrepreneurs answer the two biggest questions they entertain when faced with opportunity. Number one, can I do this? And number two, when should I start? The answers are simple yes and go. I am your host, A.M. Williams, and I'm excited to be here with you in 2019 because you know what? I do firmly believe that this is your year. Yes, now is the time for you to step out of your head, do something amazing, and become wildly successful the way that you define it. And through this platform, I'm committed myself to helping you do that in every way that I can. Now, I want you to think for a moment. You and your spouse got bit by the entrepreneurial bug at the same time, okay? And your businesses are gaining increasing momentum over the last, just say 6 months, just hypothetical. And we all know how demanding entrepreneurship is with just one entrepreneur in the house, but yours has two. One can easily see that in such cases, there are other things equally and more important than the bottom line. Desires get communicated in different languages, sometimes with no interpreter. Well, today, you'll be happy to know that help is here. It's here with me today. MarlaM is a relationship and intimacy expert specializing in coaching entrepreneurial couples using a non-traditional approach. She teaches couples how to uncover hidden patterns in their relationships and business through neuroscience and mathematics. Over the course of her 23-year career, Marla helped more than 12,000 couples, including Academy Award-winning actors, producers, and directors, NBA players and coaches, Grammy Award-winning artists, and millionaire entrepreneurs. She works with Julian Coker, my dude, her love, life, and business partner. Marla, it is a privilege to have you here with me today. Welcome to Yes Go.
I'm so excited to be here with you. This is like the highlight of my week right now. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Awesome. That is awesome. Now, Marla, I'm pretty sure there are many different scenarios outside of the one that I just mentioned, where two people in the household are being entrepreneurs. Sometimes it's the two entrepreneurs trying to build one business. But needless to say, entrepreneurship has a significant toll on a relationship, not necessarily in a negative way, but you have to consider the impact that it will have on your relationship. To that, you say what?
Well, I say, even if you're not an entrepreneur, or even if you want to be an entrepreneur and you're heading in that direction, the most important thing is that you onboard the entrepreneur mindset. That's the first step, right? Because if you want to build an empire either on your own or with a partner, that you start to onboard the skill set that's necessary for having a successful business. So having your ambition tied to service is one, where you're giving. So it's not just about making money, earning money. It's about how much can I be of service here while I'm earning money. Developing the mindset of being a risk taker, someone who's willing to take risks and be vulnerable and be visible and put themselves out there in the world. It's not an easy task. That's something that, as you know, I've been working on for quite some time, is, to share more of my personal story out in the world, really in service of others who also want to do something similar. And to share the real, and that's one of the things I love about your show, is sharing the real behind the scenes of what's actually happening so that people understand what they're getting into before they get into it, or they have an illumination of, oh, right, that's why I got into this. Let's shift more into service. Let's shift more into how can I be of service in the world through using my gifts and having a spectacular relationship along the way, where I don't sacrifice my own personal self-care or my personal life.
That is significant. The thing we try to do here on the show, I'm just kind of add an addendum to what you said, is we try to show this audience a side of success that they won't see anywhere else. So while we're encouraging them to make the leap, we also want them to be aware of what to look at, not by any means to say don't do it, but to also let them know it's not just, oh, I just got on the Cape and I did it and there was nothing wrong and I defeated all my enemies with just one blow and I went to the top in a single bound. I mean, it's just, that's not it. Actually, Yes Go is not about a straight line. It recognizes that entrepreneurship is messy. And what you're talking about really adds another dimension to this conversation that a lot of entrepreneurs are just not having. What has been your experience with that?
We'll say that one more time, that entrepreneurs
are just not having. Like, they're thinking about profit. They're thinking about how much money they're going to make. They're thinking about expanding, but they're not thinking about how the regiment of their relationship, is so important. How to move, how to have rhythm with your spouse.
Okay, beautiful. So, as entrepreneurs, we can tend to compartmentalize things like, oh, I'm going to focus on this, and that's separate from my relationship, separate from, self-care, separate from travel, off time, work, being with the kids. And the idea is balance is BS. There is no balance in an entrepreneur household. Okay. It is not what we're striving for as entrepreneurs. We're not striving for balance. We don't actually care about balance. We care about getting our message out to the world. And we need partners who are going to support that and encourage that and fan the flame of that. And what that means is it's not balance we're looking for, it's integration. We are looking to integrate all areas of our lives so that we can be the people who are spreading joy and our real, genuine, God-given message out into the world more and more. And so what that looks like is, for us, for me and Julian, we use our life as basically a private laboratory for our work. So we're practicing and teaching everything to each other that we're teaching out to the world and to our clients. So everything that we do at home is something that's going to contribute to being of service out in the world. So it really gives our relationship a purpose. It gives our conflicts a purpose. Like, one of the things we love to talk about is what's your relationship fighting style, because how you fight in a relationship, whether you actually use words or whether you hide out and, you don't ever have a fight, everyone has a relationship fighting style. And so how you fight matters, because that's going to inform how you do business also. And when conflict arises in business, how you're going to show up, how you're going to show up with your best self. And we believe that the relationship is the best incubator, the best training ground for being your best self. Because when you can be your best self at home, even when everything's not perfect, and you show up with growth and growth mindset with your love, then you're going to be practicing that at home so that when the challenges arise in your business, you're already ready to greet those.
Well, she just gave us a whole mouthful and two handfuls. Right there, and we're going to get right on into it a little bit deeper. But hey, listen, speaking of integration, have you connected with us on Facebook yet at the Yes Go Radio page? Make sure, if you haven't, go to Facebook and join Yes Go Radio so you can get extra commentary with guests like Marla, as well as special goodies and updates on live events that are coming your way this year that you won't get anywhere else. So we just launched a page. Go there, blow it up, let me know you're there, and we'll get back with you. All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, Marla. Hello and welcome back to Yes Go. I'm Coach A.M. Williams, and I am with relationship expert, entrepreneur coach, Marla Mattinson. It has been a long time coming for us to get together, but that's because, what, I've been doing some amazing things, doing some pretty amazing things. So it is an honor and privilege. So we want to make sure that we are able to get ample value from what it is, that you have, because you have so much to deliver. So when you were talking before, you were sharing the dynamic of you and Julian using your relationship as, I don't want to misquote you, but kind of like putting your own relationship on the table to kind of use it for observation and sharing with people what it is that you're learning from what it is you're doing. How has that approach impacted your relationship with your following?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. So, yes, we basically live our lives as an experiment in service of the couples out there who are entrepreneurs or wanting to be entrepreneurs, so that we understand on a daily basis, from moment to moment, really what it takes to live your life and your relationship as the vehicle for your own personal transformation.
Mm-hmm.
So Julian and I have a prearranged agreement that any conflict, any misunderstanding will be viewed through a few different lenses. One is the personal lens. We always want to give spaciousness for having our personal, ugly, nasty material to arise and come out free, free from constraints, to just allow it to come up and out. And then also to look from the perspective of, what's my part in this? Why is this arising in me? What is my habitual family pattern that's re-emerging here, so that it can be, so it can come up, out, and be seen, and not replanted in, but released back into the universe. And the third is, how does this relate to couples at large? And how does this relate to our clients? And how is this in service of understanding more and more about what other couples deal with? So we really always view our conflicts and our challenges through those three different lenses. The personal nastiness, the personal, what is this about for me in my own personal learning? And what is this about for us as a couple in our personal learning? And then what is this about for couples at large? And when we do that, what that's done is we have massive empathy for couples who are in business. And it comes out through everything that we do. It's an odd situation where someone would have an experience of us where there's not empathy involved. And so it's helped me personally to share more vulnerably the behind the scenes. I really just very, very recently started doing that in my writing and sharing more on Facebook and social media of some of the behind the scenes. There was a great kind of blowout fight that we had last week that I shared online, which I don't normally do. Normally, I just share it with our private clients. And what I've realized is people want to know. And also I don't want people to think that we are perfect and that we're some statues of perfection, because that is not true of any couple. Every single couple has some kind of conflict, whether it's inner conflict or whether they actually have arguments and fights. Every single couple has issues behind the scenes, whether it's sexual, whether it's financial, whether it's just dealing with your own, insecurity or worthiness or lovableness. Every single couple has issues. And that's the beauty of it. Because if we start to use those challenges as a way to connect with our own purpose here on earth, then we come out of it faster and we create a purpose around having that conflict in the first place. And then it gives it a place to go, rather than going deeper and getting planted inside of ourselves to say, well, he doesn't really understand me, so I'm just going to resent him more, right? Instead, we don't do that. We bring it out into the light, we look at it, and we use it as a way to share out into the world. So that's the main way that we use it, as a way to serve more people out at large.
So what we want to talk about right now is just how uncomfortable that can be. Because when you decide to be that vulnerable and put yourself out there are a lot of things that could go wrong.
Yes.
People might say, oh, wow, that's who she is. I don't want to do business with her.
Yeah.
That's who, I don't, maybe she doesn't have it together as well as I thought. What do you say to the individual who feels that coming out and sharing that, the shame associated with that could literally lead to a decreased following. And I'm not talking about like one or two people. I'm talking about a significant uh, drop off in people. What do you say to that?
I say, let them go. Because here's the thing, when we are willing to share our message unapologetically out in the world with kindness and love, then we can expect that we will polarize people. That's the whole point. You want people to be raving fans and people to think that you're the worst thing on earth. You want people to say, oh, Marla doesn't know what she's talking about. She had a fight with Julian and ended up crying on the floor of the shower the other day. You know, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm completely okay with that. And before I posted that particular post, Julian and I had a little meditative moment where he said, I just want to remind you that your job is to put this out there to the world. Your job is not to use the response as a way to either elevate you and inflate your ego or to feel bad. And so we took about 10, 15 minutes to just get into a very loving meditative space where I released myself from any feedback from that particular post. And what that did was it freed me up to be neutral in when I was responding. So I wasn't using it as a way to feed my ego. And I also wasn't using it as a way to beat myself up, because I got a lot of comments that, pretty much all the comments were really loving. And it would be very easy to inflate the ego over that. So the thing is that when people comment, it's always about them. It really has nothing to do with me. And so, I mean, I'm just the vehicle for it. It's kind of like, I don't know if you saw the Sarah Silverman post and social media back and forth. I think it was on Twitter, but I'm not 100% sure, where someone called her a really nasty name. And instead of reacting with negativity, she reacted with love, compassion, and kindness. And it turned out that this man had been abused horribly, sexually, and just was in so much physical and emotional pain, and nobody would help him. And she ended up getting him help from her following. And it was one of the most beautiful things that I have witnessed out in the celebrity world, of people who are genuinely doing the work and able to say, wow, you can call me a horrible, nasty name, and I'm going to still greet you with love and kindness.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I heard a term a few weeks ago that I have not been able to wash from my vocabulary, and that is powerful detachment. Powerful detachment from caring about what other people feel about how you're doing what it is that you're doing, and how doing that allows you to really get to see what's going on behind the issue.
Yes, that right there, you just nailed it. So however someone does respond is reflecting what's happening inside of them. So here's the thing, everyone's allowed to have their experience. I don't need to take anybody's experience away. If somebody thinks I'm a jerk because of what I share online, that's okay. If somebody thinks I'm amazing because of what I share online, that's also okay. I'm not going to use it as a way to fuel anything except, oh, people are resonating with this message, so I'll give more of that. Or people are not resonating with this particular message, so I will do less of that, right? So it's really just to inform, where do people open? Where are people wanting more information and more strategy and more understanding around relationship and entrepreneurship? And so I'm just sharing me and what I do and what resonates for me. And then that will either resonate for people or not. And I'm okay either way. Because people can misinterpret my message any way they want. They can. I have no control over that, nor do I want the control over that. And so if they do, maybe they get one slightly distorted version of my message, but maybe that helps them anyway.
Exactly. You know, we're going to step away for a moment, but before I do, if you've gotten into this interview and you've kind of stepped into it, maybe the second segment, and it's like, oh my gosh, I wanted to catch this in whole. It's kind of like going to the store and wanting to purchase a pair of shoes, but only get one. Like you don't get everything that you came for. So if that's your case, Make sure you join Facebook. Join us on Yes Go Radio and find out when shows re-air. Find out excited in times where we're putting these shows back up. There are even opportunities for you to see these videos, and that's on yesgo.live. So I want you to lock in, stay here. When we come back, we're going to discuss Marla's Yes Go moment. Be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Yes Go. I'm Coach A.M. Williams, and I'm here with relationship expert and entrepreneurial coach, Marla Mattinson. Marla, when we were going out of the last segment, we were talking about your Yes Go moment. I want you to take a moment and tell us what was it like when this opportunity came to you? How'd you respond to it?
So the Yes Go moment, I'm gonna take it way back to 2000. Okay,
Wow.
that's 19 years. I'm doing a little dating of myself, but that's okay. So in the year 2000, in October, I rolled my car down Topanga Canyon in Los Angeles. And for those of you who don't know Topanga Canyon, it's a windy road with steep cliffs on both sides at different points on the canyon. And I was driving and a car got in my lane around a curve and I lost control of the car. And I thought to myself, okay, I'll just hold on to the steering wheel because it was at night. I couldn't see because dust was kicked up from the road. I'll just hold on to the steering wheel until it stops. And I'm pressing the brake and I'm spinning out. And so I thought, oh, it'll just hit the side of the road and stop. And it hit the side, my car hit the side of the road and I started to roll down the hill. And
Wow.
Immediately I thought to myself, in my true arrogant form, all right, God, if you want me on this earth, you better come down here and help. Okay. Arrogance even comes in life and death experience.
Yep.
My ego was pretty darn strong at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had an outer body experience and I was viewing myself. My face was in the back window of the car and my body was flying out of the back of the car in my mind, right? Because I was still actually in the car. And I was watching myself roll down the hill. And I thought to myself, wow, this is how people die. And I never thought this is how I'm going to die, but this is how people die. And then a large boulder stopped me from rolling completely down the hill. And there was one moment of total beauty and majestic peace where there was a little bit of gravel still falling in the car because all the windows were smashed open. I could hear the creak down below of water rushing, and it smelled like that beautiful earth dirt because I didn't realize, but it was all shoved up my nose. And I was actually upside down hanging by the seatbelts. And as soon as I realized that, I thought, oh my God, I got to get out of here because all of the old memories of watching television where cars explode when they're upside down, were coming flooding in. So I turned my car off and I undid my seatbelt and collapsed to the hood of the car because it was upside down. And I climbed out of the car in my socks with leaves and sticks in my hair. I had really long hair at the time and I must have looked like the Loch Ness monster climbing out of there. Climbed up the hill and this couple had seen me go over and came over to help. And that was the moment where I came home and reevaluated my entire life. At the time, I was a doula, helping women through labor and delivery of their babies and postpartum. I loved my work. I was a massage therapist. I was a coach for couples, coaching them on relationship and having a child. And I thought, oh, I need space. And it's time to go back to school. I had been avoiding school. I had a lot of shame around the fact that I started university and I dropped out after a year and a half. And so it put me back on the path of going to school because I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor, to be an OBGYN because I had been a doula for so long. Mm-hmm. And in fact, when I went back to school, I started as a chemistry major. And then I realized that the parts I loved about chemistry were all the math parts. And I didn't even know I was good at math. I was 30 years old and I changed my major to mathematics. And then I was accepted to UCLA, and I started their major, mathematics, applied sciences, with the medical and life sciences. So I studied chemistry, physics, biology, neuroscience, and mathematics at UCLA. And that was the beginning of my Yes Go moment. And I just want to say that before that accident, I loved my life. I had an amazing life. As an entrepreneur, really being a doula and a massage therapist, I set my own schedule, and I didn't realize that there was a bigger calling for me until that accident. And that set me on the path of, well, hang on. Yes, you're enjoying your life, and there's more. And I realized over time that service in a larger capacity was part of that more.
You know, it's interesting because we're always saying it's messy. It's messy. And some people's Yes Go moment take them directly into what it is that they're doing, while others go on a journey and they become more. And then all of a sudden, they look up and the pieces of the puzzle come together. And they see how, oh, this was necessary. That was necessary to move them from one realm to the next. But it was all purposeful. Like we don't. When we're going through, we don't see it, right? We just don't, but it all seems to come together to make us stronger and to do something super significant in the earth. So that discovery puts you in the path of teaching, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
so how did relationships ended up coming into play there?
so I'm going to back it up a little bit then, because as you said, you know, all the pieces fit together on the other end of it. You go, oh, wow, that's how all those dots connect, right? The Steve Jobs quote of, you know, you can only, I'm going to totally chop it up, but you can only, see the truth looking backwards, right? You can only connect the dots looking backwards. You can never connect them looking forwards. Something like that. My friend Chris knows way better than I do that quote. So here's the thing. I grew up with, my father was a business owner. He's an attorney and he worked for himself for, he still works for himself 40 plus years. Amazing. So I grew up with that. And then I was a body worker. I was a massage therapist working primarily with couples and working with pregnant couples, and then teaching them how to massage their babies after they were born. I specialized in twins. And then I had that out-of-body experience and I went back to school, and then I studied mathematics. Then I became a mathematics teacher, high school math teacher with inner city kids in Los Angeles. Then from there, I resigned from the teaching profession and I went back to my true love, which is working with couples. And then I created this specialty niche of working with entrepreneur couples, because the couples work that's out there from relationship experts and therapists is amazing and not applicable to entrepreneur couples. It's very specialized. And Julian and I are actually in the process of creating a certification program for relationship experts to learn how to work with entrepreneur couples, which is very different from just relationships with couples who are not owning a business together or separately. Then from there, this is the newest piece that I haven't even told anybody about yet.
Exclusive.
Exclusive on Yes Go. Here's the thing. We are now reintegrating my bodywork background. And Julian is a hands-on healer. Most people don't know that, but he's an incredible healer. And so we are starting to lead once a quarter a physical touch workshop for entrepreneur couples on how to touch each other in a non-sexual way that helps them remove their limiting beliefs from their physical body. And it's gorgeous work. It's actually a workshop I created 21 years ago. I found my old notes and we're finally doing it this year. And so the first one is at the end of February and we're going to do it once a quarter. So that's the timeline.
Wow. And we got it first, guys.
Woo!
Right, Yes Go. Right here. We got it first. So Marla, I want to thank you so much for sharing that with us. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what's on the other side of Yes Go. We're going to talk about having made the leap. What have you experienced? Who have you become And what have you experienced as far as the fruits of your labor and doing the things that you have done? Hey guys, stay tuned, stay locked. There's nothing else you want to hear right now. Be here with relationship expert, coach Marla Mantinson. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Yes Go. I am super excited about, wow. The just taking me on the journey with you, Marla. Thank you for allowing me to share that experience with you as you went back. Thank you
That
for
was so
sharing all
cool.
of this. It was powerful. It was powerful. Now, we talked about your Yes Go moment, and we talked about, what that has positioned you to ultimately do now. Take us on the other side of Yes Go. Show us, having made the leap, having done that, how is life different now?
Wow. So incredibly different. And yet, at the same time, on a personal level, I feel more free than I ever have in my life. I feel more open, more able to be vulnerable in multiple situations where in the past my ego would have been completely in the way and not wanting to be seen in particular ways. And so on a personal level, the biggest shifts have been that I feel free to speak the truth as I see it, to be really unapologetic with my message, to be kind in how I'm being unapologetic. I experience love in a completely different way. It's a one-way direction where it's coming from source through me and out, and it's not looking for anything in return. I have dropped my comparison of me against anybody else or even me against me. If it arises, which it does from time to time, I see it for what it is, I thank it, and I release it. And I think probably the biggest thing is I have been welcoming the breakdown of my ego for so long now, which is anytime someone has feedback from me that's unpleasant, I welcome it in, especially from Julian. And Julian is the best at telling me the truth about how I'm showing up in the world. Because if I have the courage to receive feedback from the people who love me and who are really in my corner, want to see me successful and want to see me, knock it out of the park in the world and share out there at large. If I can receive feedback from them about how I'm showing up in the world, then I can use that as a way to break down my controller, my inner controller, break down my ego in a way that really has me soft and soften and not be the know-it-all all the time, because I do know a lot. And sometimes it comes off like, oh, you're a know-it-all, which, I do. So at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, how can I still be a student every single day? So that's the inner world of what's really changed. There's a lot of spaciousness and freedom that I experience now to just be who I really am, unapologetically out in the world. And then from a logistics perspective, we live in a gorgeous house in Venice Beach, half a block from the beach. We drive a Maserati. I don't really care, but it's a beautiful car and I love it. And it's just a thing, it's just a material object that we can do. We travel all around the world, leading private retreats for couples in everywhere from the south of France to, Big Sur, California. And I get invited into amazing interviews like here on Yes Go and other media outlets. I'm featured on television and in Entrepreneur magazine and, all these publications. People want to hear what I have to say because I'm actually sharing the message out there, and it's happening more and more. So, and of course, not to mention, our income. And the first time that I hired David Nagel, who was my private coach for 2 years, he helped me break through my limiting beliefs around money, as you know, and we both have a mutual love for this man. And right. And he helped me change my annual income into my monthly income within 6 months of working with him. And then I kept growing from there. So it's been a phenomenal ride. I'm dedicated to putting more and more material out there. We've been a very exclusive business where we've only worked with high net worth individuals and couples. And we are currently putting together DIY programs for couples, for entrepreneur couples to work on their relationship and their business at home in the privacy of their own space at an affordable rate. And so that's new for us. And this year we'll be launching some more material around how couples can do the work at home and not have to invest, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with us privately.
So yeah, I mean, you know, when we talked about this in the pre-production meeting, I was blown away. I said, oh my God, Marla, I can't wait to get to, you know, to have you share some of this here with us. But I want you to, we're going to do something real cool and real special for our subscribers. Yeah, we're going to do something real cool and real special for our subscribers. I have talked to Marla about giving us some real powerful tools, just some real strong tools to help build your relationship. But guess what? You can only get it on our Facebook page. You can only get it on Yes Go Radio. If you have not joined it, you will not be getting this episode. You will not get it. It is, I'm sorry. So why don't you just rush right over, connect, because you don't want to miss this. This is going to be powerful. This is going to be powerful. So make sure you lock in. But before we do go, Marla, why don't you tell people how they can connect with you?
Absolutely. So the best ways are either through my website, which is marlamattinson.com, or on Instagram, we are The Intimacy Experts on Instagram, and on Facebook, Marla Mattinson. Of course, Twitter and LinkedIn and all the other great publications we have, you know, online publications we have. Profiles there too, Marla Mattinson, but the most engagement I do is on Facebook, Instagram, and through my website.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, make sure you go and connect with Marla. And Marla, did you have any new training or something that people can take advantage of to, you know, to get connected with you at a, is there anything coming up on the books? I mean, I know you're wide open, you're really out there, you're doing a lot of things, but anything coming up over the next month or so?
Well, we do have, it's filling up pretty fast, but we actually have an in-person physical touch workshop for entrepreneur couples at the end of February, beginning of March, a 3-day immersion in our home. In our home.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
only for 9 couples. So if anybody's interested in that, definitely reach out and send a message, and I can send some information out. It is a pretty spectacular experience to learn where your limiting beliefs are being stored in your physical body, and then to have your partner help you through non-sexual physical touch to release those. It's a beautiful thing, and business write-off. That's all I'm saying.
Right off. All right, Marla, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on Yes Go. We truly indeed hope that you will come back and keep us updated on what you're doing so that we can stay in your world. We're just so excited about the wonderful things that you're doing, you and Julian.
Thank you so much. We would love to stay in contact with you and, of course, with all of your listeners.
Awesome. Guys, that's it for today. But if you head over to Facebook, Yes Go Radio, you're going to get some dynamic training, but it's only for the in crowd. We only do this for the in crowd. I'm sorry. Don't do it. Until next time, this is Coach A.M. Williams. Stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay in the game. Say yes. Go. Bye-bye for now.